Hey everybody, and welcome to vlog number, I should have looked this up before I hit record. Number 4? We're going to pretend it's number 4 until we say otherwise, until we learn otherwise. What's been happening this last week in Vietnam? I think this is the longest I've gone since I've posted one. I don't know, I guess it's only number 4, so what does it mean? But this week has been much, much better. All the internet issues have been fixed for the most part. There's like a nationwide, actually kind of region-wide error somewhere. The AAG cable, which leaves Vietnam, has been screwed again. This time it's not by a shark or by an anchor, but there's some sort of power leakage or power surge or power something that has to do with the cable, which is kind of screwing up the information that's traversing it. Yes, complicated day. But mostly the internet's been fine. Occasionally it will fall apart, but only for like an hour or so. So that's all good. And that's really improved my mental health and state of well being. I actually feel like I've been streaming a lot lately, which makes me feel more productive, makes me feel at home, makes me feel better about everything. I'm not just sitting around with no job, not doing anything, which granted I've done before and is really nice, but when you want to be working, it's really bad. So that's all great. That's all happy. A couple of new things happened. Actually, I don't remember if these are new or not. I don't remember what happened the last time we did one of these. So I'm just going to recap. And if I overwrite some things, or if I repeat some things, forgive me. Some guy tried to sell me heroin recently. That was fun. He pantomimed like lighting his hand, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I know Vietnam has a lot of heroin and a lot of opium. And at first, I thought it was opium, but then I started talking about it on stream, and a bunch of people were like, "No, no, no, Neil, that's heroin. That's how you smoke heroin if you're gonna smoke it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So some guy tried to sell me heroin. And then a couple days later, a guy tried to sell me some prostitutes. I guess he didn't really try and sell me, but as I was like hopping on the back of a motorbike to drive away, he like leaned over and was like, "If you ever need a girl, come see me," or something like that. Come see me if you need girl. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was like, "Hey, if you're looking for girls, I'm your guy." So that was great, and I just kind of took off and didn't look back or say anything. Um, what other fantastic things have happened here? Oh god, there was a really good one recently. Oh, the same day that someone tried to sell me, well, that someone was offering up prostitutes to me. I was walking down the street in a part of town that like no foreigners live in. Like this is, it's all the Vietnamese live over here. I mean, all the Vietnamese live everywhere, but there's no foreigners in this part of town. And I was walking down the street. There's a couple of girls, like little girls, like you know, fourth grade, fifth grade, maybe third grade, somewhere in there, like just playing with the bag, like trying to, pulling it back and forth between each other as if they're fighting over it. And I'm like, I see them from 100 feet away, and I like give a smile, like, oh yeah, whatever, kids are playing with the bag. And as I get to like 30 feet, 10 meters for those of you who don't use Imperial, they turn and they look at me, and their eyes get like really big, and they both like stop fighting over the bag. They don't like let it drop to the ground, but they both like just drop their hands and stop fighting back, and eyes wide just stare at me as I walk past. Like completely like, oh my god, what is that thing? And at the time, I still had a bit of a beard, like I hadn't shaved in a couple of weeks, and I was just kind of like down the street in Vietnam, and they're like, oh. Same area, I got a lot of people staring at me, like more than usual, and it's normally, you know, fairly frequent. Like normally 1 in 15 people or 1 in 20 people like give you a glance, like, oh, look at that. It's not like people like, oh my god, all the time, but definitely people are like, huh, oh, doing like a double or a triple take. But this street was bad. This street was like, you walk down the street and there's a bunch of people like sitting around a table talking, dozen yards, a dozen meters in front of you, and one of them you'll notice like says something and makes a gesture, and like one will turn around, and then like two or three will turn around, and like everyone starts looking at you as you walk past. They look, and then you make eye contact with them, and they're still staring, and they're still staring, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm staring at them, and they look away. Although in Vietnam, staring is not the taboo that it is in the United States, and I suspect Europe. Like in the US, if you're walking down the street and you look at someone and you notice they're making eye contact with you, you both like, nope, no, we don't know each other. We're not allowed to look at each other in the eyes. That's not okay. Vietnam, there's lots of staring going on, but sometimes like this was gawking, and there was a lot of that. The entire block, actually, that entire region leaving my friend's house was just normally I take a motorbike or a taxi or something. This time I couldn't find one, so I was like walking until I could find a motorbike or a taxi because I don't have one yet. Uh, and yeah, it was bad. It was fun. I got a kick out of it. I had a great time walking down that street. Probably won't do it again, but I had fun that one time. What else? There's some sort of national holiday going on. All the schools are closed, which means my wife has this week off, and she's taken off. She's gone to go on a boat cruise with a bunch of her friends from the school. I said, no, no, I'm not going to go on this like 2 day or 2 night boat cruise through like the Kappa Islands, with me and my friends and have this great time. I'm gonna stay home and stream instead. So that's what I'm here doing. Yeah. What other wonderful things have happened this last week? I tried to buy a motorbike, but I got stood up. We had made plans ahead of time before my wife left to go meet one of these people who works at her school, who's it's either her boyfriend or her brother or her husband. It's some like close personal relationship of hers that's a male that sells motorbikes. And a lot of the teachers have bought bikes from this person in the past. And I was supposed to meet them at the school, even though it's closed, at 9 a.m. So I show up at like 8:45, and like I'm gonna be here early, and I wait and I wait and I wait, and like 9:30 rolls around, and I haven't slept because it's me. I was up working. I was doing something. What was I doing last night? Why was I up so late last night? I don't remember why I was up late last night, but I was. Oh, it's because there was shenanigans until 4 in the morning. That's why. And so I just stayed up the whole night. Um, and so I'm like exhausted and falling asleep in the chair, and so I go home and I totally got missed the motorbike, and then there was texting and crazy shit happened. Like, they didn't show up and there was no rescheduling. So we'll get one eventually. They don't really have motorcycles. I mean, they do, but they're uncommon. Everything is scooter, which is great because scooters are just a lot more. I mean, some people are going to argue about this, but if for going around town, just like commuting, scooters are a lot more fun than a motorcycle. They're a lot easier to drive. They're all automatic. I mean, you can buy manual ones here, and I've used their manual scooters, which are pieces of crap, and have a very different method of like clutch and shifting and gears and whatnot. That I dislike. Because there's no way to. No, it doesn't matter. Um, what was it? Oh yeah. So we're gonna get one. It's gonna be fun, and I'm really looking forward to that because motor scooters are a lot of fun around here, and I get to teach Lauren how to drive a scooter. We already kind of did a little bit of that, but it'll be good. And what else? Shenanigans started. That's been fantastic. The first episode of Shenanigans was actually too good. And I know that sounds weird. Like we all had a blast, but it's one of those things like that was a perfect role playing experience. We all had a ton of fun, and I'm worried that that's going to be the standard that everyone's going to hold us to from now on because it was so much fun that, well, it's probably not going to be that good because you rarely have perfect moments like that. I mean, it's just like, if you had watched a movie with a bunch of friends and it was like a decent movie, but you guys all just happened to be like nailing it and making fun of the movie together or whatever you were doing, and you just had that perfect movie going experience. You're like, yeah, let's get together again next week, and you all have like a good time the next week. But in comparison to kind of like, well, that first week was amazing. This last time was great. Shenanigans is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic, but I'm nervous that we're going to be held to a different standard. But I guess that's kind of like bitching about too much success. Like, oh my god, we had too much fun playing Shenanigans. Oh, woe is me. My life is horrible. But it's a legitimate concern, kind of, sort of, whatever. I have been eating pretty poorly. When I first showed up, I mean, my physical health has been fluctuating. Like, I started eating really well when I got here just because I couldn't order food and have it delivered to my house all the time. So I was always like going out to eat, and I was only eating when I was actually hungry, as opposed to when I was living in San Francisco and I could order food whenever I wanted. And so like I'd order food for the stream so that I could stream, but it's like, oh, the minimum to order is $20 and I only really need this like $8 sandwich. Well, I guess I'll just get enough food to last me for the rest of the day. And then you order it all, and it's supposed to last you the whole day and maybe into the next day a little bit. But because it's just sitting next to you, you eventually just eat it all in way too short of a time. And then you're just eating too much food all the time, which has been a problem of mine since I, you know, learned that you could have food brought to you. I mean, not learned that you could have food brought to you, but was making enough money to have food brought to me. And then when I moved back to Vietnam, that stopped, and it was always like, okay, I need food. We don't have anything in the house. Okay, I can't eat unless I go out and talk to people and acquire food. And then I'm super lazy and intimidated and just didn't want to do that shit. So then I would only eat if I was like really hungry, which some people are gonna say is not very healthy for you, yada yada. But like, you eat when you're hungry, you don't eat when you're not hungry. More or less, you're fine, right? Like, whatever. We can argue about like that 5 to 10% health difference, but in the grand scheme of things, it's probably better to eat just when you're hungry rather than just eat when there's food in front of you. You know. Uh, but I've since learned how to order food here in Vietnam. There's a couple of really good places that speak enough English that you can order food from them. One of them has these delicious samosas and a lot of Indian food, and that's not been going great. I kind of been I think I've been gaining back all the weight that I lost when I initially moved here, although it's not quite all back. It's definitely on the way back, and it's frustrating for me. But at the same time, I'm so lazy and I don't want to go out and eat panda every day and blah, 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 blah. And in fact, probably after this, since we don't have any food in the house and it's 4:47 in the morning and none of the shops are open, I'll probably just go downstairs and make French fries, which I know is terrible, but it's like literally, it's the only food in the house we have to make right now. We've got potatoes and onions and a half a pineapple that's kind of maybe a little bit too old. Also, the pineapples here are really acidic. Like, I burn my tongue on them. I'll eat a pineapple because they're little like short little pineapples. I'll eat a pineapple or a half a pineapple or whatever, and at the end my tongue feels really weird. Like, it feels like the taste buds have been burned off as if I were eating a pizza, but I don't have like it's not hot, but it feels like my taste buds have been burned off. I think it's the acid. It might be something else. I don't know, but I've been kind of wary about the pineapples here. Um, we also started playing D&D with a group of the teachers here, and that went fantastically. The last 2 weeks that we played, everyone had a great time. Everyone had such a good time that we weren't going to play this week because it's someone's birthday. And then she was like, "You know what? It's my birthday, so we're going to do something on that day. But let's just move D&D the next day. But then let's just start it 6 hours earlier, and that way we can play for a lot longer because we've been playing at like 8:30 and then going to 11:30 or something. It's only 3 hours, but everyone gets off late. But this week, as I said before, it's a holiday, so there's no school, so we can start playing at like 2 and then play until 8 or 10 or whatever, like whenever we're done playing, and it'll be fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that. I also get the house to myself for a couple days. As I said, wife is gone, and that'll be fun. It's been a while since I've had a house to myself for a couple of days, or haven't seen my wife in a couple of days. So this will be interesting. It's kind of lonely and quiet. It's kind of a big house. Like, there's 3 bedrooms. I guess this if this office counts as a bedroom, it's like a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, living room, kitchen, and like a coat room, which is really like half the size of this office. Because you can't there's like 1 bedroom, like 1 room studio apartments, and then there's houses that have 2 to 5 bedrooms. And that's there is no in between. There's no like 2 bedroom apartments here. And when we needed like really good internet, we had to go to a place that we could like get good internet for sure, which of course it backfired and didn't work at all. So we ended up here, which is like a nice big 3 bedroom house for like $700 a month. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, all that fun stuff. In-house washer, lovely. But by myself, it's fucking lonely as shit. Oh, speaking of big houses, I got this one's getting a little bit long. We're gonna have to cut it right after this last bit. Um, we are going to probably be renting out one of the spare rooms here, the spare bedroom here, over the summer to some teachers that are here for just the summer, and that's gonna be cool because I really like having roommates. Don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my wife, and I like being able to have like a house to ourselves where we know no one's home, and I can do whatever I want because it's my house. And I don't have to give a fuck about what anyone else thinks or says or when they might be home or if they're awake or not or whatever. Those things are all fantastic and wonderful, but I really do like having roommates that you can like come home and have someone to hang out with and talk with. Or if you're like, hey, I want to watch a movie, but I don't really want to watch a movie by myself. Hey, roommate, you want to watch a movie? No, okay, whatever, I'll do it anyway. And then they come downstairs a couple hours later, and you're like, oh yeah, you're supposed to watch this. I'll watch the last bit. And then I don't know. I like the social aspect of having roommates, so I'm looking forward to having a couple of a new couple. I've never been roommates with a couple before. I've been the couple that's a roommate with other people before. But anyway, so we're getting 2 new people coming in over the summer, which is gonna be great. I'm happy about, and that's it. That's it. Vlog number 4 is done. Internet is fixed. Life is better. Um, don't buy heroin on the streets in Vietnam. Probably don't buy heroin at all. And oh yeah, we totally talked about the heroin last time. I remember saying that at the very end of my vlog last time. Holy shit, I am predictable. Wow. Okay, that's it, guys. See you later. Bye bye.